it's Becky from Lessons by the Lake. Today I want to talk to you about teaching predictions. I predict you're going to have a few strategies for how to teach predictions by the end of this video. So I love teaching reading strategies in concrete ways, so I'll tell you a little bit more about how I do that. So we predict things all the time without even thinking about it, especially about our students. We predict if they're going to like a book, if they need when and if they're going to need a movement break. We predict what they need to be successful with their science experiment. We predict which holiday activity might get them a little too overexcited. We're always thinking about this, but we know our students really well, so that really helps us make those predictions. What we need to show our students is how, when you are reading a text and we don't know the characters that well, how do we still make those predictions and make meaningful, thoughtful interactions with the text. We want students to have that higher level of thinking. We want them to be invested in the text and wonder what the character is going to do next and use all the information they're being given in connection to things that they know to make those educated predictions and be invested in thinking about the book and interacting with the text. So when we're modeling predictions for our students, what can we predict? Lots of things. So we can predict how someone will feel, what action they're going to do, what they're going to say or think, an event that's going to happen next, where the event will take place, a problem that could occur, how that problem could be solved, a decision someone would make. There's lots of things we can think about as we're going through the book and stop and predict what's going to happen next. So when I teach predictions, before we launch into modeling it with the text and interacting with text, I like to teach it with pictures and in a relatable situation. So I have these prediction task cards that use photographs. So I specifically picked out pictures that students can relate to and they'll be able to bring some level of background knowledge to be able to figure out what could happen next. Like they could look at this picture of this little girl in front of the sprinkler. They may have seen someone run through a sprinkler before. They may realize that they would like to do that, so they can predict that she's probably going to run through the sprinkler. So with each of these pictures, they're going to bring their own background knowledge and be able to make their own predictions. So it's interesting to talk about, and this takes away the barrier of students having to decode text to participate, so everyone feels really comfortable interpreting photographs, and it's a really good way to get students involved. So a relatable situation that I like to do is a little freebie I'm going to share with you. So I like to give students a shopping list and say that your parent handed you the shopping list and said, predict where we're going to go, what store we're going to go to now to buy these things. So they can look at the list, and there's one that says bananas, oranges, watermelon, crackers, bread, chicken. So they're using their knowledge of where their family gets food to make a prediction of where they would go. Like for me, I would be going to Wegmans for this. They may be going to a local supermarket nearby, so they need to predict where they're going to go. Some of the other lists, one says soap, tissues, sponge, diapers, baby wipes. One has Legos, toy cars, crayons, wrapping paper, pom-poms. Another one's all about clothes, shirts, socks, boots. So students are thinking about where they're going to buy these things and using that knowledge to make a prediction about where they're going to go. This is a very easy, quick 1-2 minute activity just to help make that concrete connection with students for how they're making predictions in real life. And I love to start my reading lessons with experiences like this. Just a real quick way to engage them, get them thinking critically about the reading strategy, and then we launch into the text. But when I go into the text, I'm still using that concrete way of thinking. So I teach my students with a concrete strategy. I use these characters I created called the Comprehension Crew. So this is Presley the Predictor. So he's a fortune teller. He knows information. He can read clues to be able to predict the future. So the concrete way of teaching with him is there's information about his profession and what he does, and it really helps to create a foundational understanding for the students for what it means to make a prediction. He also has a sentence frame that he uses every time he makes predictions that I use when I'm modeling with a text, and students use when they're responding with the text and doing think alouds. So it's I think, predict, blank will happen next because blank. So we use this over and over again to really ingrain that understanding that this is how we make a prediction. Predictions are also very close to inferences and connecting for students. So it's good to help give them a sentence frame to keep them focused on making a prediction when that's what you want them to do. So we use the concrete understanding of Presley the predictor to continue to learn about how to make predictions. So the character helps bring that concrete aspect, and then we keep building on it and building on it and building their understanding of the strategy and ability to apply it to text. So if you want to learn more about Presley the predictor, I'll put a link in the description for you to check out the resource and everything included in it and learn more about it on my blog. But I really just wanted to show you how doing these quick, simple, concrete activities can really make a lasting impression on your students for explaining what the reading strategy means. Okay, so if you have any questions or you have any ideas for how you teach predicting in your classroom, especially in a concrete way, I'd love to hear about it. Send me an email. I'm happy to chat with you, and thank you for stopping by today.